What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Ramblin' with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Some big news coming out of Ashburn on draft eve. It is the day before the NFL draft, and Washington, per Nikki Jabwala of the Washington Post, beat writer for the team, has just reported that we have declined the fifth-year option of the formerly generational talent Chase Young, defensive end, guy we drafted with the number 2 overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. We have not picked up his fifth-year option, and this is a move that says a lot of things about Chase Young and a lot of things about how the coaching staff feels for Chase Young. They didn't pick up the fifth-year option for a multitude of reasons. One, the guy's coming off an injury that took him a lot longer than expected to recover from, and he was rumored to have had a setback to the injury at some point in the 2022 offseason. Also, the production isn't there. We've drafted the guy in the 2020 draft. It is now 2023, and the guy has 9 sacks in his career. Less than 10, double digits in his entire career. And the fact of the matter is we have another edge rusher on the team that is more deserving of a contract extension at this current juncture. So decisions have to be made. But the timing of this decision, because they told us they weren't going to let us know until May 1st, May 2nd. But now they let us know before the NFL draft. And what that tells me is that they're open for business on 99. I think they will be listening to phone calls for Chase Young this weekend during the NFL draft, because if there's one thing I know about NFL coaches is that NFL ego is real. They don't care if a guy didn't work out in your system. They know the homework that them and their scouts did during the draft when that guy came out. And they feel like they can bring back that guy's greatness. They can still see the guy that was coming out of college. And I know NFL players, NFL coaches, they love a project. I'm not saying Chase Young necessarily per se is a project, but he's still a raw edge rusher 4 years into his career. And yes, he did get injured, but we're not giving him the injury excuse. What not picking up the contract means is that if he's going to get a long-term contract here, you have to do what Daron Payne did, big dog. You got to ball out this year. There will not be no fifth year for you to prove that. You got to show us you're about it to get this money, or you can be on your way in 2024. And I'm not mad at that decision at all. Honestly, that's a good move for the long term of this franchise, something Ron did not have to look out for, considering that Ron may not even be here past 2024. And what this means for Chase Young is put your head down, show up to all the workouts, voluntary and involuntary, stay healthy, and when it's time to get on that field on Sundays, it's time to produce. It's time to get after it. It's time to show us a percentage or a fraction of what we drafted you to be. And what we drafted you to be is not an edge rusher that excels at playing the run. We drafted you to get after quarterbacks because that was your expertise and your specialty at Ohio State, at DeMatha High School in the DMV. We didn't just draft you because you're from the area. We drafted you because you had the ability to get the quarterback on a special level, a level that we were not used to seeing here in Washington for quite some time. But it's put up or shut up time for 99 here in DC. Go out and get your money or kick rocks. It's that simple. I'm not hating on Chase Young. I'm being objective about it. As fans, we got to hold these players accountable. Other players have gotten hurt and they've come back and they've balled the fuck out. No, I'm not saying that based on the 3-game sample size we saw Chase play last year when he came back from the ACL injury. But what I'm saying is we can't give him that excuse. Joe Burrow tore his ACL his rookie year. He's been to a Super Bowl and a couple AFC championships. Nick Bosa tore his ACL second year. He won the 5th player of the year last year. This guy religiously gets over 14 sacks. We don't know that Chase can effectively rush the passer or has an array of moves to get past a tackle to get to a quarterback. Chase is invisible on passing downs, and I want to see better for him. I want him to be great. I want it to work out. I have an affinity also for players that are from the area, but I don't care where you're from. I want to see production from our players, and it's time that we finally see some real, true production out of 99 Chase Young, the formerly tabbed generational talent that we took with the 2nd overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. That means things are looking up toward a Montez Sweat extension at this point, because this doesn't mean Chase Young is gone But it also don't mean he's staying. And it also means that we will probably be listening on the other end of trade phone calls this weekend. Letting this information known to the public before the NFL draft is called posturing and playing the game correctly. So I congratulate and applaud Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew for having foresight, having vision in the situation, and proactively getting this information out before the NFL draft starts. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Chase Young's fifth-year option was not picked up by the Washington Commanders, and he could be traded this weekend, man. We never know. Let me know what you think. We got to do what we got to do at this point. The draft starts tomorrow night. We're on the clock at pick 16. I'm not sure exactly what Chase Young's trade value is at this current juncture off production in conjunction with health. I would say a third rounder, but for this team, nothing lower than a second rounder for Chase Young. We cannot accept anything. Like, I've seen enough. We got a bag of chips, some mumbo sauce, and a bootleg DVD for Trent Williams, a Hall of Fame player. We drafted this guy with the number 2 pick in the draft, and some teams in the league probably don't have the information that we are privy to here in the DMV. So somebody may be willing to go out on a limb and give us a second or a late first for this guy. Or maybe that's just me holding out hope. I don't have any problem with Chase Young. I want to see Chase Young be great. I want every player on our roster to be great. But what I'm going to do on this channel is I'm going to keep it 100 as a fan, and I'm going to keep it objective as possible. And objectively speaking, Chase Young ain't been it so far since he's been here in Washington. He never shows up to OTAs till this year because he wants to shoot commercials and work out with his own people. He hurt his knee last year working out with Von Miller. Don't let the team tell you that didn't happen. That shit definitely happened. He set that shit back. And when he was on the field, on passing downs, he's invisible. He has no array of moves to get to a quarterback, and his strong suit is playing the run because he's a menace. He is an absolute menace. He is the predator when it comes to defending the run. But you do not draft an edge rusher with the second overall pick in the NFL draft to play primarily the run. Nope, you got to give me some production. And that does not just mean sacks, man. It does not just mean sacks. Montez Sweat is not getting 15 to 17 sacks a year, but what he's doing is being effective. His pressure rate is ridiculously high, and he always finds a way to sniff the quarterback. He always finds a way to get his mitts near the quarterback. Has to work on finishing, but he always finds a way to get there. Chase has a problem finding it, man. He doesn't have the MapQuest directions to get to the quarterback. He has a high motor, and if you get your hands on him, he doesn't really have anything to counter you. But the fifth-year option was not picked up for Chase Young. 99's future in D.C. is now a question mark. It's either ball out or get paid. It's that simple. But that's all I got for right now. The draft starts tomorrow. I'm going live with my boy Jalen again. We're doing our full first-round mock draft tonight at 7, and live at midnight, I'm putting out the prediction pod. Content creators, fans, media, a little bit of everybody pitching in to give their prediction on what the pick at 16 is going to be in the first round. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Deuces.